This is RD Sharma Solution Class 12 Chapter 18. Maxima and Minima MCQ we are taking. Multiple choice questions. The maximum value of fx is equal to, this is the expression, on -1 and 1 is. So what do we do here? These steps remains the same. First thing is to differentiate this. That is f dash x we are going to find out. If it would have been 1 by 4 minus x plus x square, there is a different technique that I will cover in the later question. One question is coming, okay? So I am differentiating it. Once you differentiate it, you are well aware of differentiation. So the final differentiation will be something like this. So this differentiation is your responsibility, and this is the result which you can match. Once you differentiate it, you have to equate it to 0. So once you equate it to 0, that is f dash x equals to 0, what do you get? This denominator of course is going to be 0 if you multiply both sides by the denominator. It is eventually going to subside. So we are interested in the numerator. When we equate this numerator or the whole expression equals to 0, this 4 minus x plus x square will be equal to x into 2x minus 1. From here you get 2x square minus x. Here you get 4 minus x plus x square. So just cancel this x, 2x square and x square will give you x square, and you get x square equals to 4. So x will be equal to plus minus 2. So you have two values here, plus 2 and minus 2. But to our utter surprise, this interval is -1 and 1. So x can only be between, or this function is in between this -1 and 1. So can you have a value x which is 2 and -2? No, it's not here. So it has to be 2 and -2, which is not lying in -1 and 1. So we are only left with the option of -1 and 1. So we'll place this 1 and -1 in the original equation, and then we'll find out the values, and the maximum of these two values will be the maximum. So I'm doing one thing. I'm replacing x in the original equation by 1 and -1. So what do you get? When you place f1 in the original equation, you'll get 1 by 4. Here you are going to get -1 by 6. 4 plus 1 plus 1. So -1 by 6. Now this -1 by 6 and 1 by 4, which is higher. 1 by 4 is higher than -1 by 6. So what is the maximum value? Maximum value is 1 by 4 at x equals to 1. So this is the reference for you. So you can just follow these. All these sentences you have to write. Hence the maximum value is 1 by 4. The point on the curve y square equals to 4x, which is nearest to the point. Now in the previous exercise, or you can say at 18.5 exercise, we have taken 4 or 5 questions like this. And nearest distance from any curve to any line or any point, we are talking about the distance. Distance equation is very plain. That means if we have y square equals to 4x, which is the original equation of the curve. So from here you can find out x and y relationship. So you can have x equals to y square by 4. Now you take this any curve. So you can have a line, you can have a point. Since the question is talking about a point, so point is 2, 1. So y square equals to 4x, any point you can take, it will be x, y. You can assume it to be x, y. And any point on this line or any point anywhere which is 2, 1, the distance formula is, as I said, it is plain. What is plain? It's fixed. What is it is fixed? The distance formula is the distance of x coordinate square plus difference of y coordinate square, both differences square, you add them and take the under root. So when you do this, y2 minus y1 whole square plus x2 minus x1 whole square under root. This is your distance. So what do you get? You can take x1 y1 as xy and x2 y2 as 2, 1 or otherwise. Because ultimately this is difference square. So even if it is negative or positive, it won't affect. The result will remain same. So this distance is going to be under root y minus 1 whole square plus x minus 2 whole square, or you can have it swapped also. You can have x minus 2 whole square plus y minus 1 whole square. So now you can square it also. That is d is equal to under root. We don't want to deal with the under root. We don't want to deal with 1 power half. So we square both the sides. When we square both the sides, this d square we can call it as, say, capital Z. So this capital Z is equal to y minus 1 whole square plus x minus 2 whole square. And then the nearest or the longest or shortest, whichever thing is being asked, you can deal with Z only. Don't worry about if we have squared, what will happen? Nothing will happen. The things will remain same. This is the logic. So once you have this z equals to x minus 2 whole square plus y minus 1 whole square, this differentiation will be dz by dx. So when you differentiate this, what do you get? X minus 2 whole square plus y minus 1 whole square. Let us differentiate it. But the problem is we need to have this right hand side even either with x or y. So we will replace x by y square by 4 in the first term. The second term y minus 1 whole square will remain the same. Now we have all y's on the right hand side. Once you have y or all of the y on the right hand side, now you can differentiate with respect to y, or you can have x as y, say x as y square by 4 or y as under root x. We don't want to deal with y, under root, of course. So now this y, when we differentiate y square minus 4 y square by 4 minus 2 whole square plus y minus 1 whole square, you get y cube by 4 minus 2. This is the first differentiation, first derivative. And the next step will be equating it to 0. So y square by 4 minus 2 equals to 0 is y square by 4 equals to 2. Y square equals to 8. Y will be equal to 2. So it's cube. So 8 to the power 1 by 3 is 2 cube. 3 gets cancelled. You get 2. So y is equal to 2. And once you have a y, you can always find out x from equation number 1. X will be equal to y square by 4. Y square is 2 square. 2 square by 4 is 4 by 4. That is 1. So you have this x and y. X as 1 and y equals to 2. So this 1 and 2 is the answer which we were expecting. And until this is a question of MCQ, we have no troubles. But when it is not in the MCQ, you have to solve everything. Then you have to also show that double differentiation gives you the nearest means minimum. Minimum means positive value. So it has to give you the positive value. So we will double differentiate y cube by 4 minus 2. You get 3y square by 4. Put this y value. In this y is 2, of course. We have got this. 3 into y square is 4 by 4. So you get 3. 3 is greater than 0. It is positive. So you are going to get the smallest or the nearest distance. So we have computed the nearest distance just now. So whatever being discussed or explained, it is in front of you. And you can follow this and check also whether you are doing it correctly or not. If x plus y equals to 8, then the maximum value of x, y is. Now this is also a very straightforward question. X plus y is equal to 8. So if one value is x, of course the second value is 8 minus x. So you have two values, x and 8 minus x. So the second thing, which is x into y, which is the actual term of contention, that is x into y, we have to find out the minimum value. So y we replace by 8 minus x, so the equation becomes x into 8 minus x. Now multiply inside, you get 8x minus x square. When you differentiate it, first differentiate will be 8 minus 2x. Now you have to equate it to 0. Third will be f dash x equals to 0. So 8 minus 2x is equal to 0. So 2x will be equals to 8. X is equal to 2 4s are 8. X equals to 4. So what will be y? Y will be equal to 8 minus x. So now just take this x as 4. Y will be 8 minus 4. Y is 4. X is 4 and y is 4. So this 4 and 4 multiplied, that is, we have to find out the maximum value of x into y. 4 4s are 16. Now this is enough when you are doing this as a multiple choice question. But if it is not a multiple choice question, you have to double differentiate and show that the value is actually going to be negative, so that you get the maximum value. Negative always indicates you are going to get the maximum value. Positive always indicates you are going to get the minimum value. So this also, this is very suitable question for the basics. The least and the greatest value of fx is equal to x cube minus 6x square plus 9x in 0 to 6 are. The first thing is the differentiation of this original function. So you have x cube minus 6x square plus 9x. So this 3x square minus 12x plus 9. We now differentiate it and equate it to 0. We have already differentiated now. When we differentiate, we have to equate it to 0. So once you equate it to 0, you can divide every term by 3. So eventually you are going to get x square minus 4x plus 3 equals to 0. Now this is very straightforward. This expression we have dealt a lot of time. So x minus 1 into x minus 3 equals to 0. These are two factors. And this will give you x equals to 1 and x equals to 3 as the extreme points or the critical points. Once you have x equals to 1 and 3 as the critical points, your whole range is 0 to 6, or the interval, not range basically. Your interval is 0 to 6. Now this 1 and 3 is inside this 0 to 6. So you have 4 values here, 0, 1, 3, 6. you have to find out the least and greatest value, that is the highest and lowest value, minimum and maximum value in between these 0 to 6, and in between 0 to 6 by differentiating and equating to 0 we got two values as well, 1 and 3. So we have to find out the value of the function at 0, 1, 3 and 6. So original equation, if you put 0 it will be 0. If you put 1 you will get 1 cube minus 6 into 1 square plus 9 into 1. So you are going to get certain value at f0 which is 0, f1 equals to 4. When you put f3 you are again going to get 0. And when you put x equals to 6 you are going to get 54. What is the minimum? There are two zeros, so minimum is 0. What is the maximum? Maximum is 54. So the last option here 0, 54 is your correct answer which you can follow. So 0 and 54 is your final option that you are going to choose in this multiple choice question. Now this is the reference in front of you. So double differentiation is not required here. Even if it is not a MCQ, then also double differentiation you can skip, because it is all about the values in the interval for which the least and maximum value has to be found out. Now fx equals to sin x plus root 3 cos x is maximum when? Now first thing is what? If you don't know anything, we just differentiate. Okay. So we will differentiate and equate it to 0. When you equate it to 0, what are you going to get? Cos x cos x minus sin x, so root 3. So you have cos x minus root 3 sin x, f dash x equals to 0. When you equate it to 0, it will be cos x equals to root 3 sin x. Now this tan x is equal to 1 by root 3. When you have tan x equals to 1 by root 3, tan 30 degrees 1 by root 3. When you get tan x equals to 1 by root 3, what is the value for which you are going to get the tan of certain value as 1 by root 3? It's 30 degree or pi by 6. Tan 60 degree is what? Tan 60 degree is root 3. Now you can say that the answer is pi by 6. You can stop and just tick and go ahead. Means correct option you can choose and just you can move on and go ahead. But there is a confirmation. We will confirm, then only we come down to any conclusion. So f double dash x is what? Again differentiate the differentiation. First derivative, now we have to find out the second derivative. Second derivative at x equals to pi by 6 you have to find out. So we have this sine 30 degree. Sine 30 degree is 1 by 2. Sine 6 and this cos 30 degree is root 3 by 2. So it will be minus half minus root 3 into root 3 by 2. Alright. So you can take this minus outside common in place of sine pi by 6. And this is cos pi by 6. So sine pi by 6 as I just indicated. Sine pi by 6 or sine 30 degree is 1 by 2. Sine and cos 30 degree is root 3 by 2. So you can have half plus root 3 into root 3 by 2. So 3 by 2. So this is the value which you get, which is negative 2, which is like less than 0. You are going to get a maximum value. So this is an MCQ question. So you can just skip this third part. But if it is not, you have to do this also. If a cone of maximum value is inscribed in a given sphere, then the ratio of the height of the cone to the diameter of the sphere is. Now you have to follow me then. How you have to follow me? 18.5 exercise. This question has been solved with the diagram properly. So you have to visit again, or you visit this 18.5 exercise which we have completed, and there we have used this one, and the answer is 2 by 3. You already know the height of the cone to the diameter h divided by d of the sphere is this one. So how to do this? This is in front of you. Answer is 2 by 3. How to do this? If you are not able to get this, you have to go back and see the question where we have solved it in its entirety at 18.5 exercise when we completed this exercise. The minimum value of x square plus 250 by x is. Now this question is quite straightforward, and if it has any trick then it will be explained to you. But right now just differentiate this. When you differentiate this, it will be 2x minus 250 by x square. Second thing is the f dash x equals to 0, 0. You have to equate it to 0. So you have 250 by x square equals to 2x. You can cancel this 125 and x cube equals to 25. So 5 into 5 into 5 is 125. So x cube is equal to 125. X will be equal to 5 into 5 into 5. You are going to get x equals to 5. Now x equals to 5. Just put this x equals to 5 in this equation and find out the value. That is, I am replacing x by 5 in this original equation. and this is 25 plus 50, which is 75. 75 is your final answer. Now this 75 you can just tick and go ahead. But if you assume that this question is not the MCQ question, it has come in your actual 2 or 4 marks of weightage, then you have to double differentiate this. So we need to double differentiate this equation, and when we double differentiate, we have to see that you are going to get a positive value. Positive value will indicate that you are dealing with the minimum value of x square plus 250 by x. So when you double differentiate this, this is x cube, and you have to replace now x by 5. So 2 by 500 divided by 5 into 5 into 5, which is 125. 125 divided 500 divided by 125, which is going to be 4. So 4 plus 2 is 6. This goes 125 and 500 will give you 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. So 6 is greater than 0. So this is positive. Positive is indicating the minimum value, and that is what we were expecting. So it is just that it is the MCQ question. That is why we have done the F-double-dash-X. Otherwise you can just tick 75 and go ahead, because MCQ should not give more time. This question also being completed by us in the previous exercises. Now I'm going to give you a hint also. So we'll try to complete it ASAP, as early as possible. F-dash-X is 1 minus 1 by x square, and you equate it to 0. When you equate it to 0, x square will be equal to 1. X will be equal to plus minus 1. That is, x square equals to 1. So you have to take both negative and positive value. But in the question it is already given x is greater than 0. When you have x greater than 0, x equals to minus 1 is outright rejected. So x equals to plus 1 is only value from where we can go ahead. So what is the greatest value? X plus 1 by x is there. X equals to 1. So 1 plus 1 by 1 is 2. This is going to be 2. So the greatest value of the function, which is 2, is not in the option. See, the greatest value of the function is coming to be 2 here. But the options are negative 2, 0 and 3, and none of these. So I hope you are getting the point that it will be none of these. But in order to confirm that, we have to double differentiate also. 1 minus 1 by x square, double differentiation is 2 by x cube. It's very straightforward differentiation, which you have already known. Now in place of x, if you replace it by 1, you get 2 by 1, which is 2, which is positive. Positive is going to give you minimum value. So minimum value you won't get, because they are asking about the greatest value. So the double differentiation also is indicating that none of these. X equals to 1, when we place it in the original equation, is going to give you 2, which is not in the option, negative 2, 0, 3, none of these. So you can just check the none of these, because we are not going to get with the actual result. None of this is the answer. None of these is the real answer. So I hope you got the idea. You have to double check until you reach to an option. Otherwise one step or 2 steps will not suffice, whether you are right or not. So none of these is the correct option here. X equals to 1 is the local minima actually. X equals to 1 because x is greater than 0. If it would have not been given x greater than 0, then the outcome would have been different. The result would have been different. Now if fx equals to this one, then its maximum value is. Now if you remember, I told you in the beginning of this discussion that if 1 by something is there, we can apply a distinct kind of approach. That is an approach which we haven't seen up till now. So if you start differentiating this 1 by 4x square plus 2x plus 1, the effort will be more. So if you want to find out the maximum value of 1 by 4x square plus 2x plus 1, it is simply equal to the minimum value of the reciprocal of 1 by 4x square plus 4x plus 1. That is, if you take reciprocal of this expression, you get 4x square plus 2x plus 1. So rather than finding out the maximum value, we can go ahead with the finding out the minimum value of this one. Alright. So 4x square plus 2x plus 1, we will just take now the expression not as 1 by this thing, but 4x square plus 2x1. Alright, this is the concept you understood. So we'll now differentiate. We'll start with 4x square plus 2x plus 1. We differentiate it, we equate it to 0. So f dash x equals to 0 is 8x plus 2 equals to 0. It gives you x equals to, it is going to be 8x equals to negative 2, x equals to negative 1 by 4. So x equals to negative 1 by 4, f double dash x equals to, what will be this one? Double differentiation is going to give you 8. 8 is greater than 0, indicating you are going to get a positive value or a minimum value. Positive, that means minimum value. So x equals to negative 1 by 4 is going to give you the minimum value. So you are going to get a local minima from here. So now what about 1 by 4x square plus 2x plus 1? If you put x equals to negative 1 by 4 in now the reciprocal, which is the actual original equation 1 by 4x square plus 2x plus 1, this is going to give you of course the maximum value, because negative 1 by 4 is giving minimum value for 4x square plus 2x plus 1. But same thing will give local maxima if you invert it. Alright, so 1 by 4x square plus 2x plus 1 at x equals to minus 1 by 4 will give you the maximum value. So you got the concept now? So the fourth thing which we have to do it to here, we will again go to the original equation, place x equals to negative 1 by 4, and when we place x equals to negative 1 by 4, we are going to get certain value, and that certain value is what? It is the maximum value of this function, which is 4 by 3 in case. Now the next thing is the double differentiation. So if you are not happy with my discussion, you can differentiate this function using p by q form, question form, and then you see whether this 4 by 3 is coming or not. It will come same. So I showed you a distinct or different approach which we have never applied. That is, so we will do this question later now.